Hello Kita Queens and Kita Beauty Teas. As y'all can see, I'm hitting y'all with another bomb client tutorial. Tell your friend, tell your dad, tell your mom, because I'm going to try to upload a client tutorial every week. So as y'all can see, I started by cleaning her face off. Now I'm just going in and filling in her eyebrows, and to do so, I'm using my Nicka K black eyebrow pencil. Once I have her eyebrows filled in to my liking, I'm going to go over them with my spoolie and then just repeat the same process on the other eyebrow. To clean up her eyebrows, I'm going to be taking these two concealers from Makeup Revolution, and I'll have the shade names in the description box. But I'm going to start off with the lighter shade and use it to conceal underneath her eyebrows just so we can have that highlighted effect. I sped this portion of the tutorial up, but when you are working on the eyebrows, you really want to take your time just so they can come out as symmetrical as possible. Once I'm finished cleaning up the bottom, I'm going to take the darker concealer and use it to clean up the top of her eyebrows. I use the darker one on top just because it blends in more with her skin tone. So once we get to the foundation portion, it'll be easier to blend out. But once the concealer is in place, I'm going to take a buffing brush and just buff out the excess product. So I don't know if y'all could tell, but I took a little bit too much off the bottom with the concealer, so I'm just going back in and adding it with my pencil. Then once I get it to how I want it to be, I'm just going to blend out the excess product. And for an eyeshadow base today, I'm going to be going in with my e.l.f. Camo Concealer in the shade Warm Sand, and I'm applying about a quarter size amount on her eyes, and then I'm just going to blend it out. The palette that I'm going to be using for this look is the Clientele palette by Bperfect Cosmetics, and I'm going to start off with that light brown shade, and I'm just going to pack it onto her eye with this blending brush. And then to blend it out, I just slightly swirl around the edges. I'm going to take this color all the way to the front of her eyebrows. Next, I'm going to take this darker brown shade from the palette, and I'm just going to pack it on under that first shade we used. And I'm using a denser brush than the last one that we used, just so the color can be more pigmented. So the denser the brush, the more it picks up the color. And I'm just packing it in the front of her eyebrow as well. I'm going to take the black shade out of the palette and apply it to the outer edge of her eye. Then I'm going to blend it out using the same brush that we used to blend out the brown. And I'm taking this in portions just so I don't add too much. So I'm going to apply a little bit, blend it out, and then apply a little bit more just to build it up to the intensity that I would like it to be. I'm going to take a small dot of that concealer and apply it to the inner portion of her eye. Then I'm just going to blend it out. This is just going to help our colors be more pigmented. We are doing a no-cut crease look, so it does not have to be neat. Now I'm going to take that first shade that we use and apply it to the edge of the no-cut crease. And once I have that built on, I'm going to take a white shade and just apply it to the rest of her eye. I'm going to take this pigment from Bperfect Cosmetics and apply it to the inner corners of her eyes, and I'm just going to spread it like halfway over her eyeshadow. Now I'm going to line her eyes using my black Wet n Wild liquid liner. For this tutorial, I'm only going to be doing an angled line, so I'm starting the line off thin and then making it thicker towards the end. And once I have it drawn completely on, I'm going to take some black eyeshadow and smudge out the end so it blends in well with my eyeshadow. Once I have the liner blended out, I'm going to take a cotton ball with some makeup remover and wipe away any of the fallen eyeshadow. Now I'm going in with some moisturizer before we start the foundation, and to moisturize her face I'm using my Pond's moisturizer. You can find this at your local dollar store. It's like the best moisturizer ever. To mattify her face, I'm going in with my calamine lotion, and I'm basically applying this to the inner portions of her face. So under her eyes, her chin, her nose, and her forehead as well. While the calamine lotion is drying, I'm gonna go ahead and apply her lashes. For foundation, I'm going to be using my Me Matte and Poreless foundation, and these are the two shades that I'm taking. I'm going to take the lighter shade and work it in the inner portions of her face. So basically everywhere we put the calamine lotion, under her eyes, her nose, her chin, and her forehead. And once I have it placed everywhere, I'm going to take the darker foundation and work it around the perimeter of her face. To blend out the foundations, I'm going to be using a damp Real Technique sponge, and I sped this up so it might look like I'm being rough, but you really want to be as light-handed as possible, because the harder you go in, the more you'll shift the foundation and it'll take the product off of her face and just into the sponge. So be as light-handed as possible. Now I'm going to go in and highlight her face, and I'm taking these two concealers. One is from e.l.f. and one is from Makeup Revolution. I'm going to start off with the Makeup Revolution one first and just apply it to the inner portions of her face. Now I'm going in with that e.l.f. concealer, and I'm going to just put it on the edge of the first concealer that we applied, just so it'll be easier to blend out into her foundation. And once I have it applied, I'm going to be contouring her face. And to contour, I'm using my Juvias foundation stick, and this one is in the shade Katsina. I'm gonna go in and blend out the contour first, just so my concealer can have time to sit. And to blend out the contour, I'm using my Real Technique sponge, and I'm using the same side of the sponge that I used to blend out my foundation, just so everything can blend in perfectly and appear as seamless as possible. So yeah, I'm just going in, I'm gonna tap this away, girl. Now that the contour is all blended out, I'm going to go ahead and blend out this highlight, and I flip my sponge to a clean side to blend it out. So as you can see, I'm going under her eye first, but we are going to go back to it once we finish it. So I'm going under her eyes and just lightly tapping it in, and then I'm going to work in all the other areas. To set the highlighted areas, I'm going to be using my Fit Me pressed powder. The shade name will be in the description box down below, but I'm just taking the same Real Technique sponge and dabbing it into my powder, and then just pressing it into her skin. And look how smooth this is, y'all. Like, if you're not up on this powder yet, you've been wasting time. Like, baby, it's only $5. Like, go test it out, period. To set the perimeter of her face, I'm going to be going in with this black radiance pressed powder, and it's in the shade Ebony, and I'm just going to lightly dust it into her skin using this fluffy angled brush. Now I'm setting her contour, and to set it I'm using my Black Radiance contour kit in the level Dark Deep, and I'm taking it on the same brush and just lightly applying it to her skin. If you buy this contour palette, please be as light-handed as possible because it is very pigmented and it's real easy to make your foundation look muddy. So I like to just lightly dust it into her skin. Now I'm taking that same Black Radiance press powder in the shade Ebony and using it to sculpt out her nose. I'm going to take my Fenty Loose powder in the shade Hazelnut and use it to clean up the side of her nose contour. I'm going to line her waterline using my black gel liner, and I like to take it on a Q-tip just because it's easier and quicker to work with, because since it's a Q-tip, if they start crying or their eyes get real watery, the Q-tip will just soak it right up. So yeah, that's a good hack. Make sure you use a Q-tip. And then I'm going to go on her lower lash line with this brown eyeshadow. It's not too dark just because I wanted this look to be pretty subtle. This step is really optional. You really don't have to do this. You can just line the waterline and be finished, but I wanted something else down there. And once that's finished, I'm gonna go in and add blush, and I'm taking the orange and the burgundy blush from my Juvias Saharan blush palette, and I'm gonna just, you know, lightly press it into her skin. We don't want no clown look, girl, so make sure you're not rubbing too hard on her face, okay? Okay. And I'm just go over that blush using my sponge. Now I'm going to quickly dust away that powder that's sitting on her face. You want to be real gentle with this step too, because if you rub too hard, it's going to alter the foundation and the concealer. And I'm going to be using this same brush to highlight. First, I'm going to go in and spray her face with setting spray. And before it's all the way dry, I'm going to have her smile so I can apply the highlighter to the apples of her cheeks. And to highlight her face, I'm using my Anastasia Beverly Hills Glow Kit in the color Sun Dipped, and I'm taking the darkest shade and the lightest shade mixed together from the palette and just lightly blending it into her face. For the lips, I'm going to be taking this Milani liquid lipstick in the color Sugar and this Juvias liquid lipstick in the color LuLu. And first, I'm going to line her lips using this burgundy lip liner from Kiss New York. You can find this at your local beauty supply store. And I'm just going to take this all over her lips. I'm going to line the top and the bottom. And once I was finished, I felt like the color wasn't dark enough, so I did go on top of it with a black liner. Now, if you are somebody with fair skin or very light skin, I don't recommend that you go on top with black, because depending on how dark you want it. If you want it like a burgundy shade, you can do that. But if you want it like a crimson red, just go in with the burgundy liner. Now I'm going to take a flat brush and apply that Milani liquid lipstick first. You may want to moisturize your lips prior to applying the Milani liquid lipstick because, girl, it is very, very dry. Like, I do not recommend going in with that liquid lipstick all over your lips. Like, it's a pretty shade. Like, they come out with beautiful colors, but it is dry. So make sure you moisturize your lips first. I'm only going to be applying this color on the edge of her lips, basically everywhere that we applied the liner. So we are doing an ombre lip, which is why the darker shade is going first. Then I'm going to take the Juvias liquid lipstick and apply it to the center of her lips, and I'm just going to blend it out into that first shade that we used. Gonna go back in with that black liner and reline different parts of her lips just to get this lip looking as neat and as perfect as possible. When you're doing a red lip, you really want it to be neat, so go back in if you need to. Then I'm gonna do my final spray, and now I'm getting into the grand reveal, so I'm gonna just let y'all watch.
Oh wow! Yes. I'm losing. Okay.
So as y'all can see, she loved the outcome. Like, yes, Bougie Face by Keita. And this is the client video that I took on my phone. If you would like to see more videos that I took, please go to my Instagram. It will be in the description box down below. Do not forget to like, comment, and subscribe for more content. I'm gonna be posting client videos at least once a week. I'm gonna try to, so tell your friend, tell your dad, tell your mom. This is the end of this tutorial. I hope you all enjoyed. Please like, comment, and subscribe, and stay tuned for my next one. Bye bye.